What's up again, my friends? How's it going today? It's Carpo again. I wasn't quite sure how I'm going to start this video or even what I'm going to talk about. I mean, it's about pain, serotonin, and gum chewing. A few different subjects, you know. As I mentioned previously, I've been in a lot of pain over the last week, and I've been kind of trying to pull myself out of it, you know, slowly by stretching and, you know, doing the rituals of pain, right? But I've done endless research on my type of pain, the specific kind of sciatica I might have, and the best ways to deal with it. And having any condition that creates chronic pain, it makes you curious about how chronic pain is handled by the brain. And I was looking into this new research that shows that the brain actually it explains why we feel pain in a different area from where we're actually hurt. And this is different from nerve pain where, you know, like sciatica, where you can feel it in your leg because the nerve affects your whole leg. But this is different. This is like when you get maybe a cut or a bruise and it hurts somewhere else in the region. And they found out that there's these, you know, specific types of receptors that allow you to feel pain within the general area. And the whole thing spawned out of my research into whether or not being in pain releases serotonin. And without getting too much into the neurochemistry, I mean, we have, you know, the serotonin and dopamine. Basically, these serotonin and dopamine are two neurotransmitters of many, but the one that's usually people talk about when it comes to pain is endorphins, which is just endogenous morphine. It's the body's natural morphine for fighting pain. And there's also something else in there. Now, I've mentioned before in serotonin, where it seems like historically we evolved to, and this is a very, you know, black and white way to put it, and this is my own research, is that when your dopamine's high, serotonin's low, and vice versa. In which the case of serotonin is the feel-good chemical, dopamine is the motivational chemical. So when your serotonin's low, your dopamine is high, and it inspires you to go out and hunt, to gather, to get food. Once you've eaten food, your body is stimulated to produce more serotonin, dopamine levels go down, and that's when you're relaxed. Finding a happy medium in today's world is very difficult, but when you're affected by pain, it's also affecting your serotonin levels for some reason. And the reason I was looking into this was for the very reason of, if serotonin's high, your dopamine levels are low. You have very low levels of motivation when you're in pain. And that's something, I guess, that it's important to remember. It's like your body is trying to heal itself, so naturally you're going to go through some your body's going to want to relax, and it's going to almost force you to relax. And in the Western world, we're forced to kind of fight our way through that, if you will. Got to get to work, got to make money, and it just causes more stress, which compounds the problem even worse. And one other final note I wanted to mention in this video was about gum, which during this research I found out that there was a study done, and they found out that gum actually helps to reduce stress and creates somehow a pathway for 5-HT. I'm not sure exactly how it affects serotonin, but the rhythmic gum chewing, a consistent chewing motion, seems to reduce levels of stress. And this isn't anything that, you know, pharmaceutical industry would want to sponsor, of course, if you can, something as simple as rhythmic gum chewing. And it instantly made me think about people who speak in tongues or people who repeat mantras or chant. In other words, it's a form of meditation, repetitive motion. You get into the same thing with your body motions and Tai Chi and different movements and yoga, and you start to see that it's these repeating of certain motions or habits that it seems to allow the body to enter into a state of relaxation. So I just wanted to put that out there because there are a million different things you can do. I mean, you could sit there and probably say la 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 all day long and get the same effect as chewing gum. I think what it really comes down to is that rhythm. But ultimately, pain comes down to strictly down to your state of mind. I mean, if you can't laugh through it, then you're going to just cause yourself more pain. I mean, this is the first time I've been able to stand for more than a minute without just falling over. And I'm in excruciating pain at the moment, but I'm determined to fight through it because I'm going camping this weekend with the family, and there's no way I'm going to fail on that. So I got to drive the bus up to the woods. And so, yeah, fighting through it, it's really interesting. You don't have much motivation to fight through it when you're already hurt. And the whole idea, but behind the endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, and there's acetylcholine and a whole variety of others. I don't like talking about neurochemistry too much because we don't know shit. I mean, even the people who are the forefront of the the brain and the workings realize that it's a very difficult thing to test because of one important factor, the blood-brain barrier. So we know that our body produces 90% of our dopamine and serotonin in the gut, not in the brain. And most people wouldn't think that would be true. They're like, well, our brain is where we think. Why wouldn't it be produced there? Because serotonin does a hell of a lot more than just make you feel good. But they're transmitters, if you will. So they're signals, ways to send signals through the body. How do we affect those signals in a positive way, where we could just turn off the pain? And, we've been working on that for a long time. I mean, pharmaceuticals are wonderful when they're needed. Kratom is great for my pain, of course, but the other night I took 2 acetaminophen. Absolutely knocked the pain out for a few hours. If I took them regularly, it probably wouldn't. And same thing like I've said about any other painkiller, over-the-counter or prescription, is that they all have their place and their use, but they tend to, in my experience, if you take something that knocks all the pain out, then you're looking for trouble because you don't even notice when you're hurting yourself again. And maybe that's one of the biggest issues is re-injury when we think that we're feeling better. So you have to feel the pain to know that it's there, but you don't want to have so much that you can't move. And finding that happy medium is very difficult. So, hey, it's the month of 7/19, Carpo 7/19. And hell, it's almost the date of 7/19. So anyway, I'm going to turn this off at 7/19. Thanks for watching.